I, 28 female, live with my sister, 32, and my infant niece. My sister asked me to move in with her as she was separating from her partner and needed someone to help with the bills. I cover the majority of rent payments for the house and bills since my sister is not fully back to work yet. On the days she's working, our mother usually looks after my niece. Now, I mainly work from home, and due to how loud my niece and sister are and the job specifics, I wear good noise-cancelling headphones. I also have a room with my own bathroom. I've told my sister multiple times if she needs anything and I haven't responded to a knock, she needs to come into my room and tap me to get my attention. Otherwise, I simply won't hear her and wouldn't know if she needs anything. I'm deaf with the headphones on. However, my sister keeps forgetting it. Last Friday was very hectic at my work, so I ended up working 12 hours and had some snacks to get me going. I had no knowledge of my sister asking anything of me. Since I sit opposite the door, I didn't see her entering my room since she didn't tap me on my shoulder as we agreed. Apparently, she had to run a few errands at work and had no one to leave my niece with, so she decided to leave me with her since she'd be a few hours. Because I had no idea of her plans and she didn't follow what I'd asked her to do, my niece was left unattended for over 3 hours and was crying her eyes out for God knows how long. I only found out about it when my sister returned home. I was still working mid-meeting and had my headphones on, as she ripped the headphones off my head and started shouting at me and calling me an idiot for not attending to my niece, even though I have explained to her I had no idea she was gone or my niece was crying. Additionally, I don't look at my phone during work hours, and after checking there were no messages or missed calls from my sister. I feel terrible about the entire situation, so I wanted to check if I'm an idiot as my sister still wouldn't talk to me and made it sound like I did it on purpose. Let me walk you through this. You've explained your work situation to your sister multiple times. Your sister up and left the house and her infant baby without telling you. Only when she gets back and discovers the baby crying can she remember the noise-cancelling headphones and rip them off you in the middle of your meeting. You should honestly give her a warning that if she does this again, you're out and you're calling CPS. How incredibly selfish of her. She's messing up your job. This was her screw-up, not yours. You did absolutely nothing wrong, and you're not the idiot. Honestly, I would have screamed back at the sister for not taking care of a damn kid if I were you, OP. Yep, this is no different than someone who drops the kid off on the front porch and drives off without even ringing the bell to make sure you're actually home. Completely negligent. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if she did it on purpose. She knew OP didn't really hear her, but left anyway because she figured it would probably be fine. OP would probably hear the baby if she cried, and it's better to ask forgiveness than permission. Plus, OP is working. I don't know what on earth sister is thinking. I'm sure any boss would be really angry if their employee who's supposed to be working is actually babysitting an infant for 3 hours during their workday. Ridiculous. She's not respecting OP's job. OP, you are working. You're covering the majority of the bills currently. You really need to move and take care of yourself. I'm not sure what's up with moms being unable to take their kids on errands. I had twins and no family around. They both went on errands with me. Your sister needs to get a job and daycare. She should be working and paying her own way. Instead of feeling guilt for your sister's error, move out. Your sister doesn't appreciate your help. She feels entitled to it. By the way, what brand are these headphones? They sound amazing. I, female 44, live with my husband, 47. We have 2 adult children who don't live with us anymore. 5 years ago, my mother-in-law, 83, got weaker and older and moved in with us too. 2 years ago, mother-in-law was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. She's under medical care, of course, but the condition is progressing quickly despite it. Nowadays, mother-in-law cannot stay home alone as she's dangerous for herself and her surroundings. She almost burnt the house twice and there were other accidents. Fortunately, as for now, she didn't hurt herself seriously, but at this rate the question is when it will happen, not if. Taking care of her is primarily my responsibility, as my husband has a very irregular schedule, and because of his work, he often has to be on call and or leave home at short notice. As for me, I usually work 8 to 10 hours a day, mostly from home, but sometimes I have to be in the office. After I finish work, I take care of the house and mother-in-law. My husband helps me as much as possible, but he often can't be there for me. I'll be honest, I never was a caretaker type. I don't have enough patience. I don't like when other people depend on me, and I'm nervous when I suddenly have to adjust my plans. I cared about my children, obviously, and I like to believe that I was a decent mother, but honestly, I have much better contact with them and, as bad as it sounds, love them more since they grew up and got more independent. The more my mother-in-law needs my help, the more I grow impatient, exhausted and burned out. I do my best not to show it, but the situation really wears on me, and I know that with time she'll need even more attention and patience. Admittedly, given that I cannot always work from home and mother-in-law can't be alone, I have constant problems at work, which upsets me as I cherish my work and career. Given everything, I want to put my mother-in-law into a nursing home. Obviously, before I do so, I'll research and choose one with a good reputation and qualified staff. My husband has mixed feelings about it, which is understandable as she's his mother. Still, he says that given that I'm primarily taking care of her, the final decision is mine. The problem is my husband's siblings are having a fit, calling me, and my husband, but mostly me, cruel and undependable. They say I should hire a nurse or something. I don't want to let a stranger into my house, and I don't want to be a caretaker at all. In this configuration, I'd still have to take care of my mother-in-law after work. We, my husband and I, offered them that we'll pay them to either take her to live with one of them or to take care of her at our place, but they weren't interested, citing that it's too much responsibility and they have their own lives. But that's precisely why I considered the nursing home in the first place. Am I the idiot? It's too much responsibility and they have their own lives. Well, that's rich coming from them. I'm just astounded how some people can't see their hypocrisy even when it's staring them in the face. Not the idiot, obviously. Spot on, the siblings don't want the responsibility of looking after mother-in-law, nor do they want to contribute to the expense of her being cared for somewhere. What a selfish lot they are. OP is entitled to a life, a social life, a holiday, and of course, OP could also fall ill at some point and not be able to take care for mother-in-law. No, it's time for mother-in-law to be somewhere she's looked after and gets the care she needs as her condition worsens. Reframe the question. Am I the idiot for finding a care solution that meets my mother-in-law's needs and my family's needs? People often respond to the phrase, put in a nursing home because it sounds like you're kenneling a dog. Alzheimer's is a complex disease that needs increasing levels of care as it progresses. Ruining your own physical and mental health to care for someone is not a normal thing to do. You need to care for yourself first. Otherwise, there could be a major incident while you're on care duty due to your own exhaustion. I, 30 female, have a younger brother, Mark, 27, who's been married to his wife, Kate, 27 female, for 3 years. Mark discovered she cheated on him early in their marriage and they decided to make it work. Then, last year, I walked in on her in bed with a co-worker while my brother was away on a job. I found out from my brother afterwards that it was her co-worker because I have keys to my brother's home and had informed my sister-in-law over text several times that I was going to be heading over to pick up my truck that she'd borrowed since my brother had the main car on a job trip. He again decided to make it work. A few days ago, Kate and Mark invited us over for dinner. During the dinner, they made an announcement that Kate was pregnant. I immediately pulled my brother aside and asked if he was sure it was his. He said yes. The night went on and he must have told her I said something because she made a scene saying, "I'd just like to know why you hear good news and have to turn it negative," calling me out in front of everyone. So I simply said, "Because he's my baby brother and you're a known cheater." We started arguing and she kicked me out. Later that night, my brother texted me, begging me to apologize to keep the peace. I feel like I started with respect. I pulled my brother away, I didn't make a scene. She was vindictive. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your brother will learn sooner or later that cheaters don't change. What's the saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Bro is a fool for taking her back the second time. She clearly learned nothing except she can get away with it. She was so offended by that OP's bro should at least be concerned. If the sister-in-law was confident that the baby was the brother's, she wouldn't have lashed out like that and made herself even more suspicious than she already was. Unless she, likes being dumb. Please, for the love of God, make him get a paternity test done. I think there's absolutely no reason to stay with someone who cheated at least twice that you know of. I mean, let's be real. If she's cheated twice and got caught, and 100% she's done it at least a few times when she didn't get caught, your brother deserves better and it's too bad he doesn't see it. She would have been banned from everyone's house if that were my family. No one in my family would sit idle with someone we love, allowing a person to treat them that way. I disagree. You didn't make a scene. She was the vindictive one. Sure, okay, you seem to ignore your part in this. Calling someone a runaround because they've called you out publicly isn't vindictive and making a scene. You definitely played your part. You picked a bad time to ask him that you're not innocent. Everyone's the idiot here, except your brother. My 30 male brother, 40, has 4 kids. His oldest son is Sam, teen male. Sam's from my brother's first marriage. When Sam was 6, his mom was diagnosed with terminal cancer and died a year later. My brother met his second wife when Sam was 8 and married her when Sam was 9. They now have 3 children, a kindergartner, a toddler and a younger toddler. Sam has always called his younger siblings his half-siblings, which has always bothered my brother and sister-in-law. They've corrected him repeatedly, taken him to individual and family therapy, and continued therapy for almost 6 years. It started while sister-in-law was pregnant, and Sam said the baby was a half-sibling, not just a sibling. They've changed therapists every few months when they don't like the progress being made. While doing all this, they continue to correct Sam every time, and my brother has told Sam's friend that Sam is wrong and he has siblings, not half-siblings. For the last year, my brother has had our parents and sisters correcting Sam whenever they hear him say half-siblings or half-sister, half-brother. I was told I should correct him too, but I haven't. It's been a discussion and I've said it doesn't feel right to gang up on him and try to harass him into submission on this topic. They tell me Sam isn't willing to work with a therapist to get to a point where the half doesn't matter, so there's nothing wrong with nudging and correcting him when he slips up. My brother has been on my butt for the last couple of months about my lack of effort to correct Sam. He's told me that my young niece has started to question why her brother, Sam, is cold and why he always says they're half-siblings. He said she'd already asked him if Sam loved her or if she'd done something wrong. So why would I not try to savour the heartache and get Sam on board with loving his siblings and dropping the half? I told him I disagreed with the lengths he was going to. I said, after nearly 6 years, if nothing has changed, does he want to break his son to get what he wants? I also asked him why it bothers him so much when his best friend refers to his half-siblings as half and he's never batted an eye at that. I told him he might wish things were perfect and that Sam adapted to everything perfectly, but he lives in this reality and not in that dream. My brother ignored the rest of what I said and called me out for not agreeing with the lengths. He said that as a parent, he has to go to whatever lengths it takes to protect his kids and ensure they turn out to be good people. He said that Sam is turning into someone he doesn't like and into an absolute idiot, and screw me for judging him on his parenting. I have no right to say this to him, and I don't understand the difficulty of moving on and trying to bring your kid with you after loss, and he's doing his best. My brother told our mom he was disgusted with me and thought I should reflect on my actions. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I'm disgusted at your brother and the rest of your family for enabling this abuse. Sam's probably counting down the days until he's 18 and can go no contact with his dad and stepmom. You can't force a relationship, but your brother and sister-in-law are abusing your nephew. Keep being on Sam's side. He needs someone to be. It sounds like your brother and his wife are therapist shopping because the therapists validate your nephew. Why else would they keep changing therapists every few months? Your nephew is also playing the long game. He's a teen. In 3 years he can leave. He'll keep going to therapy and he'll keep calling the younger children half-siblings. It's been 9 years and your nephew will not bend to their will. He'll just go no contact as soon as he can. Agreed. At that age, that kind of pressure would have me walking around the house saying, half, 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 half. I wouldn't have just died on that hill. I'd have bombed it into an abyssal crater. And all the therapists on Earth couldn't have changed that. I'd also like to know if those two are trying to force Sam to call his stepmom Mom, or whatever he used to call his mother. My husband and I are competitive ballroom dancers and have danced together since childhood. My friend is getting married, and as a wedding gift, my husband and I have been giving my friend and her husband-to-be private dance lessons for their first dance. 3 times a week we meet up with them for an hour to work on their routine. They've really improved and we feel they're ready for their first dance, and beyond meeting us to practice their routine and keep it locked in, they don't need anything else. Today, my friend admitted that she doesn't want my husband and me dancing at her reception as she feels it would steal the attention away from her and her husband, as this is our job and we'll always be so much better than them. I quickly assured her that we had no intention of doing anything even resembling a routine. At most, we'd just be having fun or doing a slow dance, but she wasn't happy with this and claimed that with how we moved together, even that would be too much. I'm honestly shocked by this and more than a little bit hurt. We can easily tone it down to a normal standard of dancing and do so all the time at things like weddings for this very reason. We love dancing, and the fact that she wants us to just sit there and not join in the dancing all night long makes both my husband and I a little uncomfortable. He has suggested we just wait until everyone has a few drinks in them and then join in the dancing when it isn't noticed. But I worry this could make us idiots as she's asked us not to dance. That being said, what else will we do after the meal? It's going to be hours and hours of dancing. The only thing I can think of beyond that is that we leave after the meal, but I don't want to seem like we're angry either. Edit, we've sent off some texts to non-dancer friends who've seen us dance at weddings, we've danced at their weddings, and asked if they felt we were attention-grabbing or too flashy when we danced. They were confused about why we were asking, but assured us they never noticed anything like that. Not the idiot. I guess they've also decided not to invite people taller and more conventionally handsome than them. Weddings make people damn weird. Don't dance at the wedding, it's just unnecessary drama. I personally think it's an idiot move to say to any guest, you can't dance at my wedding. What are you meant to do? Silently watch from the table? I wondered if OP and her husband, known to be dancers within their friend group, don't dance and people ask why. Are they honest and say bride told us not to, or do they lie and say they aren't feeling it that night or something along those lines? Isn't it a bit curious how your friend has asked you not to dance after she's had her free lessons? Boy, I've heard everything. It's my wedding year, so don't get engaged, married, have a baby, because it will take attention away from me. I'm swapping bridesmaids because you won't look good in my photos. I don't want X and Y at my wedding because they will make a scene. They didn't invite us to their wedding. Don't like their new partner. They looked at me weirdly once. Don't wear makeup, heels, cleavage, cut your hair, colour it. It's a child-free wedding except for these 4 kids because they aren't yours. And now, don't dance or people will compare us to you and we won't win. I call it nuptialitis, the disease some people get when a wedding is on their horizon. It causes some psychosis, intense egotism and random behaviour. Somebody add this to the medical books. LOL.